April Porter. Excuse me. Welcome to We the Unruly Live. How are you doing today?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing, I'm feeling pretty feisty. Like the
Oh,
hair is definitely unruly
okay.
today. The extra skin, it's how I woke up and how it all came together today. So
Love it.
I am
Nice
so
and tidy.
happy. Yeah, yeah. I'm so happy you're here because, and I have stuff to fill you in on the HD stuff. I have some, yeah, we'll talk afterwards.
Okay.
But yeah, I would love to have you introduce yourself and then we'll hop into it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's different every time I introduce myself, but I'm April
Hey,
Porter. I'm a human design guide for women entrepreneurs and creatives and those women in midlife who are wondering, who the fuck's life did I just build? This is not mine. I don't want it. I want something different. Not that we
hmm
don't love parts of what we've built, but it doesn't feel truly authentically us. And so I help them rebuild their life based on their human design in a way that makes them feel good and alive in their life.
I love that. And I love that you caveat it with, I do it different every time. Here's the thing though, when someone does it so practiced, I don't connect with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I think it's part of that performative BS that I am just over. Like if you have to practice and practice, and I get it, like I rehearse too, right? But it's just like just rolls off their tongue, but it's so kind of robotic. I'm like, no,
Hmm.
I don't love that. So I love the way you introduced yourself. um, April, what makes you unruly?
Mm. Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I think I've always been kind of unruly, but
Yeah,
then life happened and it kind of like covered up some of that. And
yeah.
so it's a process of peeling it back. But like, I hear no and I hear
You're like,
a challenge,
yeah. You're
right?
like,
I'm like,
oh,
why not?
yeah,
Watch
yeah,
me, right? Like,
yeah.
yeah, I think
When
that's just a default setting.
Yeah, yeah. When the Unruly Collective first launched, we a few of us jokingly referred to it as the Hold My Beer and Watch Me Club.
Yeah,
Like you want to tell me
exactly.
I can't do something, hold my beer, and I
Exactly.
will make it happen. What I love about okay, there's a few things I want to call out here. Is you and I went to coach training certification. I think you were a year behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's how we got, met each other, got to know each other, and then we went about our merry ways. But we've known of each other for, I don't know, 7 years, maybe 6, 7 years.
Fixation.
But when you joined the Unruly Collective, which, happy, sad news, I did shut down earlier this week for all the right reasons, and I will share at some point in a later episode. But when you joined, and introduced yourself, you shared something about you that I would have never guessed. And it
Oh,
was like April on a whole new level. Do you remember what it was?
no.
Okay, what did you wear to prom?
Pink tutu and green army boots and Liberty
Oh,
spikes in my hair.
oh, okay, okay. I don't look at you today. Like now that I know you more, I'm like, that is so April. But I freaking love that. Also, there's a story about your wall.
Yeah.
Would you mind sharing that? Because I think it's a really good story.
So the short story is last year I built this office that I'm in with my husband, and I wanted all the walls white and pretty so it looked professional,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
As,
this
as
whole
mine does behind
like
me.
mine has
Yep.
never looked professional in this way.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, it's so pretty and so clean." And then one day I was like, "I need to paint on that wall." So I got the paints out and I started painting. I started with the heart in the middle, went out several rings, probably 20 rings or so. And I was like, cool. And I sat down and I looked at it for a couple days. I'm like, this is so fun. And then I was like, oh my God, this is so unprofessional. I can't have this in my office. Like,
Yeah.
I have to cover it up. And I primered over it.
Yeah.
5 coats of primer, sat there all
And you
winter.
probably regretted it the whole entire time.
I don't know. It was kind of like, okay, yeah, that was childish. I shouldn't have done that or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. There was this like voice, that inner critic of like, that's
Mm-hmm.
childish. You can't have that now. You're 46 years old. um, so I I primered over it. And all winter it sat there and I kept seeing these lines because I could still kind of see through it. And I missed it. And I was
Yeah.
like, one day I just kept feeling this call of like, it needs to come back, except this
Yeah.
time it extends the whole wall.
I
I went
freaking
all the
love
way to the
that.
edges.
I
And I
love
love it.
that.
It makes me happy. It's
Yeah.
chaotic. I love it.
Yeah. Well, and you know, I love it. And I love that cat behind you. um, but what I love about this, right, is like, think of how many times we give ourselves kind of permission to like do the thing. And then it's like, ooh,
Hmm.
right? And then we paint over it, proverbial paint over it. What I love most is that you were like, no, fuck that. I'm going to do this because it brings you joy, right?
It does.
And you know, well, I'm a 6-2 manifesting generator. We'll get into human design in a little bit here. But to me, I'm like, April, you're modeling what be like fuck professional, right? But like I don't see you as any less than a professional. I see you as cooler and like I want to work with you and you know what I mean? It's just it shows sides of you that I wouldn't have known by looking at your website, going to coach training together, what have you. So I love that.
Thanks.
Yes, you inspire me. Okay, you and I both do identity work, but
Hmm.
you come at it from that human design lens, right? And there's a lot of human design practitioners out there, but you and I we had a conversation not that long ago because I want to bring you in to do human design readings when I start working with a client on a deeper level, right? And it was through watching you support someone inside the Unruly Collective to take a look at their chart and see what might be going on. And it was so cool to witness how you practice human design. Because from my perspective, what I saw, and I've had a number of readings done over the years, but what I saw was it became very tangible. It was taking these kind of heady concepts and making it very relatable and tangible. And here's what you do with this. And here are the exact things you can do next. And here's something to explore. Here, you know, get curious about what have you. So I'm so curious what led you to human design? Because you've actually written a book on it too, or two maybe?
Yeah, there's two. Um, but where's the
I
word
know.
for it?
Hold
Go
on,
ahead.
we're gonna put a pin in it. I know the coolest freaking people, TEDx speakers, authors, not just like one book, but two, and like more. And I'm like, I somehow in my life I have collected super cool humans, and I'm just very grateful for that. And you're one of them,
You do know a lot of cool people. I've met a lot of cool people through you.
right? I
Yeah,
don't. Yeah. Okay.
100%. Human design found me 11 years ago. So
Okay.
2015, I was working in nutrition, and somebody came through the office that I worked in to do human design readings, and I'd never heard of it before.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was like, all holistic nutrition. I'm like, wait, what? Are we like genetically modifying humans now? What is happening?
No. Human design. It's
What is this
very,
human design stuff?
very official.
So, like, I looked up my design, ran the chart, and I was like, cool, I'm a projector. And then I was sad that I wasn't the reflector, which is like less
Oh,
than 1%, right? Because everybody wants to be the unicorn, right?
right. Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, cool. And then I was like, wait for the invitation. I'm a projector. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Oh.
No, I get shit done, right?
Yeah.
And so then I spent the next probably 3 years fighting that, but coming back to it. It was
Yeah.
like, okay, I see this. Oh, this thing didn't work out. Maybe I should have waited. And so I had to deal with deep resistance to it
Yeah.
before I finally like embraced it because I'd been so conditioned to make things happen. And I grew up in a way that made me feel like I needed to be hyper independent.
Oh, that's really interesting. I don't think anyone else in the whole entire world, as women, grew up like having. Clearly, I'm joking, right? Like that is so relatable.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it was like, how do I surrender more, right? I think
Mm,
that's what it was. It was like, how do I surrender to this because it feels like I'm losing control?
mm, yeah. Yeah.
And I
When you've
wasn't.
been raised in that like hyper independence, like control is a big part of it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Controlling your environment, controlling what you can. Hmm.
And there's a fear, like if I let go and trust that things will work out, what if they don't,
Yeah.
right? So I had a lot of work to do around this.
Which is self-trust right there, right? Trust that if things don't work out, you will just go do something else and work on not getting over it, but dealing with it at that emotional level.
Yeah. And I want to say that in human design, there's this idea of like no choice. And I think that
Hmm.
we misunderstand it. And I think it's a lot of bullshit um, because we are always in choice, right?
Hmm.
Things happen to us that we can't control. There are things that are going to happen,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
we always get to control how we respond to it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I say that a
And
lot too.
and human design is a tool. It's not everything. It is not the thing. It is one tool that helps us to understand ourselves better.
Yeah.
And it's an experiment, right? We
Oh
experiment
yeah,
with
you know me. I love my experiments. Oh, that came from Kate Swoboda in CLCC.
yeah.
It's all just an experiment. I
Hmm.
got to give Kate credit where credit is due because she has said a couple of things that have stuck with me since
Same.
I went through training, and I want to say I did it in 2019. But the big one was watch what you make it mean.
Yep. That
Uh,
one always sticks with me.
Gold.
That
Yeah.
one changed my life for
Uh,
sure.
1,000%. Absolutely. Because I've been practicing it ever since then. Watch
Hmm.
what you make it mean. And I used to make things mean a lot about me.
Hmm. Same.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also helped me have like empathy for others, in my work environment. If someone snaps at me instead of, and it's just, it's like how many years later, so I don't have to think about that question anymore, but I'm like, I wonder what's going on with them, because that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a cool place to be.
Yeah.
But then also, it's all just an experiment. Yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Raw talks a lot about, or he did. He died, so he's
Oh,
not still talking about it,
I
but
did not know he died.
he did.
Yeah,
Um,
he did. Oh my
and
gosh.
that's the end of life coach and me. He died. Sorry. I guess it's a
I
matter of fact.
Yeah, I
Um,
have to keep going. I'm
it
gonna
was a
grab
long time
something,
ago,
but
so it's not like it's recent.
okay, okay.
But he always said that. It's like it's an experiment. Just go play with it and see what works, right?
Yeah, I love that. I'm gonna share a mug one of my besties gave me upon CLCC uh, graduation. Stop being an asshole. There. Now I'm your life coach.
Perfect.
I just had to pull that one out. Stop being an asshole. I'm your life coach. Okay, so identity, like coming back from the human design and just really understanding like how that applies to you from both identity, not even both, but your identity, your body of work. Like how did you use your human design to inform your work? Because that's something that was a huge, diving into that was huge for me personally and professionally. And I'm like, what I do now is just, it's like written all over my chart. And it was the owning of that, right? That really helped me like release well, maybe I could do this, or because my chart, I'm pretty much undefined or defined except for my identity center. So there's all sorts of things I could go do and teach and blah blah blah. But until like the human design confirmed what I had inside, that I wasn't giving myself permission. So I'm
Yeah.
curious your journey through that.
Well, like I said, it was a journey where I was like resisting it so much in the beginning. But then I started looking at my kids' charts and looking at family and looking at the patterns in other people. And as a projector, we see other people much more easily than we see ourselves. Um, so it was helpful for me to look at all the people I knew and the behaviors that I understood from them to understand how that showed up. And then I could start to see it in myself more. And so then I started playing it with myself. I started using it with my nutrition clients, like very quiet and privately, um, with the people who were interested in it. And then I was at home during 2020, like we all were, and had two friends who had babies. I think this was actually 2021 that they had their babies, and they were interested in human design. And so I asked, can I share some information? And they said yes. And so I started writing this thing about their kid, their design.
Hmm.
And it just kept growing and growing, and it became a book all of a sudden.
We'll have
And
the
then
link in the notes.
I was like, oh, I think
It's a
I'm
really
ready.
good book.
Um, and I think it's just like my personal evolution kept layering in more and more of this into my work because
Okay.
I could see how much it was changing my life and my clients' lives. Like it just became more and more of the focus. And so in 2021, well, I started with classes in 2015, but then in 2021, I
Oh,
really dove
wow.
in. I
Okay.
really dove in deeply to it and then wrote the book. And um, it became the through line of everything for me because every single person I have ever shown their chart to and talked to,
Mm-hmm.
I've never had one person say, no, that is not me.
Mm.
Not one time. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of charts.
Wow.
Like,
I, f- I forgot to turn off my notifications. Give me one moment. Okay, there we go. There we go. That's wild because I was road tripping with girlfriends and I was talking about human design and no one knew it. So I had them pulling their charts and as they were reading, they were like, it's not me, that's me. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe for some people, it doesn't fit. What I love though, you said to your client, may I share something with you, right? Because consent is important. And when I talked to my daughter about human design and I said, I'd really love to pull your chart, she wasn't comfortable with that. I'm like,
mhm,
oh, okay. Like I wouldn't have thought of it because it's something so I love all that data and information and input and she didn't want to do it. And I was like, okay, so I haven't done it and I want to so bad, but
mhm.
she is not giving me permission and I will respect that.
Yeah. That's hard. I actually have one relative who will not share his
Mm.
birthday with me because he
Ooh,
does not want
does
me
not
to
want you to
see it.
pull
And I
the
was like,
chart.
oh, that's so fascinating to me. Like now I'm deeply interested.
I know. I'm like, if I could take, my family's charts. I've done my husband, but I've not had it like actually read. I've just looked at the kind of the higher level stuff, and I can't even tell you what he is right now off the top of my head. I can barely remember my own, let alone anyone else's. And I was gonna say, I'm so impressed that your brain can hold all the information it does, because there's gates and channels and centers and stuff on the side.
Lines and planets and yeah, all of
Lines and planets and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, I get my chart. It fully represents who I am, and that's all my brain can hold. But I'm constantly. I think it was probably in 21 that I started using it more for business, and I actually took a class through a couple of practitioners, and that's when I did that deeper dive. And so I've done like all the channels and what they mean, and I use it still to this day. I'll refer to, like, I won't remember the actual number, but I'll look at my chart, go look it up, and be like, oh, yeah, that's right.
hmm
I have a
Yeah.
whole Notion page of like all my information that when I'm feeling kind of that, like I go to it and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Like, I'm meant to do this. Get it together, Jen. Make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, I have a reading that I had done in 2015
Hmm.
that I still have the recording of, and I go back and listen to once in a while, and I still get something new out of it every time.
Really? Yeah, I
Like as
bet.
much as we learn, like we have to embody it, right?
Yeah.
And so until it's embodied, like it's just mind candy. It's interesting,
Mm.
but
Mind candy, that's such a good word or term.
yeah, and it's a common one you'll hear in human
Yeah.
design. We're like, we know the information, but are we actually embodying it and living it?
Yeah.
And I think that we do to a certain extent, but we can only integrate so much at a time.
Hmm.
So we can go
Hmm.
back and re-listen to readings or read reports or whatever and learn another piece each time.
Yeah, yeah. I love that you call out that transformation arc, right? Because I talk about that a lot too, is like know, do, embody, right? And when
Yeah.
you embody it, it becomes second nature, and that is magic. But many people stay in the know.
hmm
And I don't know about you, but I hear it all the time, especially from women. Well, I know, like, I know, you know, I should rest more. I know I need to do this in my business. I know, blah, blah. And it's just like, it's like, get into the doing so you can move into the embodying. Like, please let me help you get there because it hurts my heart. And it's like, it's impacting the impacts you're here to have. It's impacting your life, how you show up and move about the world and all of that. I'm like, let me help you move faster to the other
Yeah.
side. Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of what led me to, I mean, there's been many iterations of my work with human
Oh,
design.
we're okay. We're going into another iteration of your work next, though.
And so this thing that I've created recently is called the Heretical Frequency Report. And it's using music to decondition the different parts of your chart. So we have this idea that deconditioning has to be this very mental, heavy process. And I don't know about you, but there are songs that you listen to that just hit you and they make you cry, they make you sad, they make you happy, they bring back memories. You can remember exactly where you were when you heard that song for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've taken the whole chart and I've paired each part of the chart. So type, authority, profile, centers, gates, lines. Actually, maybe I didn't do gates yet. I did channels. And each one has a couple of songs connected to it that emphasize like the theme of that with a journal prompt. Now, you don't have to journal with it, you can just contemplate it, right?
Yeah.
So it's a very somatic experience. So instead of being this heavily mental process, it's
Yeah.
like, what does it feel like to embody this energy? So we sit in the music of it, right? The music that
Yeah.
aligns with the story of the highest expression of that gate. Or sometimes it's letting go of the feeling of not being in that highest expression.
Is this available on your website right now?
Yeah. And there's a free sample, so you can try the energy
Okay.
type. If you
Yeah.
want to try it for free first, you get a few songs and check it
Yeah.
out.
This is, I don't know of anyone else that's
I
doing
haven't found it
this.
anywhere. I looked before I created it. I'm
This
like,
is super cool,
does this
April.
exist anywhere? And I haven't found it.
Yeah, I love that. Did you have any hesitation in being like, ooh, I don't know if I want to be the first one out there with this? Or were
Yeah,
you
like
just like, I'm all in?
both.
Okay. Well, we talked about it in the collective all the time. Both can be true. We are nuanced, complex creatures
Yeah.
capable of holding multiple truths.
Yeah. And for me, this happened by accident. It started in 2020. Um, I've learned since that I receive like signs from my spirit guides, angels, whatever, through
Mm-hmm.
music. I'll wake up with a song in my head. I will turn on the stereo and that song will be playing, and it's like, oh, this has a message for me. It happens to me all the
Love
time.
that.
But in 2020, I don't know if you remember, but Dreams by Fleetwood Mac was going around the internet in all different
Yep.
ways. The guy with the skateboard and all this stuff. But I didn't see that. What I saw was a video on Facebook of a young woman who was sitting on her bed playing, I think, an acoustic guitar with a microphone and singing Dreams, and she was young. I'm like, how does she know this song? This is like 40
Yeah.
something years old, right? And I became obsessed again with that song. Like, I've loved that song
Okay.
my whole life, and it makes me cry. It brings up deep sadness and incredible joy, both at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I started playing it. My mom has the record. She lives with us. I borrowed a record and I just hit replay over and over and over. And I would play Dreams on that album. I play the whole album, but that
Yeah.
Dream
Yeah.
track I would play over and over
Yeah.
again. Got my own copy, did the same thing. And over time, I stopped crying every time I heard it.
Really?
Because music bypasses all the meaning making parts of our brain and goes straight to that emotional part, right? And so it was like the more I could listen to it, the more I could sit with those feelings and release that sadness and
Yeah.
that disappointment and all that it was connected to and just embrace the happiness of that song. Like it doesn't mean that those feelings and those experiences aren't still there, right? But they just don't impact me the same way anymore. So I realized like I'm just
That is
playing these
super
over and over and
cool.
over and it's changing something. And then I
Yeah.
started doing it with other songs over the last 5, 6 years. Um, and then I had the
That is
idea one
really
day, what if
cool.
I pair this with the human
Yeah.
design chart?
That is really powerful.
Yeah.
You know, my husband is basically 100% Finnish. Born in the States, but he's a Finlander. And they're not known for emoting.
Hmm.
But there are certain songs that viscerally hit him and just take over. And it's I love watching it because it's just really beautiful to see this person who isn't like effusively emotive. He's kind of the opposite of me when it comes to, whatever. And but just to see him like his body fill with this emotion and he really, releasing it through the
Mhm.
tears is just really beautiful to witness.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter's the same way too. Mm, I love that. I love that. I'm gonna go check that out. I know I've downloaded other resources from you, and they're always like so much better than other free resources I've gotten from other human design folks. But that is really cool. Thank you,
Yeah.
April.
It's fun.
Yeah, I love that. That does sound fun. Okay, you were a death doula for a while,
I was.
correct?
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you still do any of that work?
I still have a couple of grief coaching clients that I work with. So
Okay.
people who have lost partners and family members, I work with them locally still,
Hmm. Mm-hmm. And is
quietly in the
that
background.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm so curious about how you came to make the decision to pivot um, from that. And again, there's
Yeah.
the underlying thread here is that I want to name is going with something, experimenting, and being like, and pivoting, right? And there's a lot of like when we do it, there can be you can either be like in that kind of nervous, desperate energy, or you can be in the energy of like, no, this is right. I'm going to make that pivot, right? So I'm so curious, like, kind of where that was for you when you made the decision to move away from the grief work.
Um, hmm. I think there's a couple of things, right? So, like, I see the hard thing and I'm
Mm.
like, oh, let's look at it, right?
You and I like that. We
Like
like the
this hurt.
broccoli.
Let me look deeper.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and so let me say I first learned what a death doula was probably 10 years ago or
Okay.
so. And I was deeply interested, but I was like, what would I do with this? I'm doing nutrition at the time. Like this, like, I
Hmm.
don't know.
You're
And
helping
so I
people
just,
live more vibrant lives.
right? And I think that death doulas do that too, right?
Hmm.
Like we do
Hmm.
that at the end of life. Like, how are
Hmm.
we living those final days? How do we empower somebody to end their lives with choice as much as possible?
Hmm.
Um, so it's about empowerment for me, right?
Yeah.
Um, And I ended up doing what I do now, well, some version of it, plus death doula work at the same time because I was like, I want to feel both of these career paths and see what happens.
Yeah.
Where does my energy want to go? Um, and why I pulled back from it was because I found that I was integrating the grief work into the identity work. And so there
Mm.
was a place for it there. And for me, driving around town all the time to other people's homes
Hmm.
became kind of exhausting because I'm already still driving kids around.
Right,
Um,
right.
so it was just like a lot of driving, and I felt like I can better focus my time and energy if I just pick a lane.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked this one, but it actually integrates all of it.
Mm. I love
Right?
that.
So the life coaching and the human design and the grief work and like how
Hmm.
are we living our lives? Are we going
Yeah,
to get to the end of our days and say, "Oh, I wish I had done more,"
yeah,
or are we going to say, "Oh, I regret doing that"? Like,
yeah. Well, and to get to those end of the days and look back and be filled with sadness for the life you could have lived if, you'd done some harder things, if you had expressed your emotions more or asked for what you needed more or said what you didn't need more of and all of that stuff. In my work combines identity, impact, and legacy, right? And so
mhm,
what we're talking about here is definitely that legacy piece.
absolutely.
And a lot of people don't think about that until those final days, and that breaks my heart.
A lot of people don't want to think about it.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
we live in a society that wants to put death in this category over
Yeah.
here that we don't look at, we don't talk about, we don't feel, and we only deal with when we have to.
Hmm.
And we
Yeah,
don't know
it's
what to say to
uncomfortable.
somebody who's
It's
grieving. We don't know how to ask, how can I support you without putting that burden on them to figure
right,
out what they need instead
right.
of just offering, like, can I bring you a meal?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
take the
I'm
decision
going to,
out of it. Yeah,
yeah. What do you want door dashed tonight? What
exactly.
are you feeling? I'll order it and door dash it to you.
Exactly. And I think for me, there's a lot of instances in my life where we're talking about like when you get to the end of life, are you going to wish that you'd done more? And
Yeah,
I think there are things where in my life I'm like, wow, I really want to do this. Am I going to do it forever? I don't know,
yeah.
but I have to try it.
Nor do you need to know.
I just wanted to. I'd never been on a motorcycle other than like as a passenger once or twice, and I was like, I
Yeah,
want to learn to ride a motorcycle. So I did. I went and I got my endorsement,
yeah.
and haven't been on one since. And it's been like 12, 13 years. Like, I did it. Cool. That was fun.
Yeah,
Like, maybe I'll ride one day. I don't know
yeah,
about traffic around here, but
yeah,
I did it, you know?
yeah.
Like, I did the
You get
hard
to
thing. And I was having
say,
anxiety attacks when I signed up for the class. I was in the middle of this huge, like, burnout transformation. I was like, I
yeah,
need to do this because it empowered me to choose to do this for myself when everything else felt like I didn't know
yeah.
what was going to happen.
The what you could control was your experience
Hmm.
in saying yes and doing something. That was what you had control of, and you decided to like take that control and do it. I love that. I love that. I always wanted to try pole dancing.
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, it looks really fun, blah, 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 such a great workout, blah, and it is.
It looks really hard.
Oh, I tried it. I hated it. I'm like, are you fucking serious? I need to like rub my skin. I'm like, that hurts.
Yeah, I
I'm
imagine.
like, I hate this. And I went into that class being like, I'm gonna be a natural and I'm gonna love this and I'm gonna like buy a package and keep taking classes. And no, I hated it. And it's for a lot of reasons.
And that's what I love, right? So
Yep.
we have these ideas of like, oh, I'm going to love this, or
Yeah.
I'm going to be good at this, or this will be the next thing that I do for the next
Yeah.
20 years or whatever. And we put so much, we build up so much into it that it's
We
going
make
to
it
be a
so
certain way.
precious.
Exactly. We make it precious and we put this big block up of like, oh, I can't do that until I'll do that when.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
when we just dive into the thing and
Yeah.
try it, we allow it to be whatever experience it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's one class. Maybe it's getting that motorcycle endorsement and then it's never getting on a motorcycle
Never
again.
doing it again.
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It's like you try the thing, you do it, you see if you like it. If you don't, move on. And I think that we can become very precious in our businesses too.
Oh, 1000%.
So,
I have in the past.
yeah. And for me, it's like, well, this isn't working. I'm going to try something different. And you can say that I've pivoted too many times.
I've seen you
That
do
I
that,
have.
April, but
Yeah.
we've talked about that. Yeah.
And I've come out of that. I've changed
Yeah.
that. But now when I change something or pivot, it's because it is really aligned with how I feel and what I want. Whereas 10 years ago when I pivoted, it was like, well, people don't want this. Maybe I should try something else.
Yeah. Or
And not giving it time to get good.
I put an offer up and no one bought it, therefore make it mean something
No one
about
bought it in 24
you.
hours. It's dead.
Yeah, it's that. You came into the Unruly Collective with something like that, where you're like, well,
Yeah.
no one bought, so I'm not. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, did you
Hmm.
market it?
Yeah.
Well, blah, blah, blah. Like April, dude.
Right.
But that's what we need, right? Is that you know that, and generic we know that, and also we still do it to ourselves
Hmm.
because it's so ingrained, right?
Hmm.
And that's when I think unruly, that's what I think about is that intentional awareness. So we take those things that are so ingrained and we pick them apart and look at them and ask questions and poke holes and then we decide what we're going to do with that, right? And then it's like reorienting to, oh wait, that's right, that's not how I want to operate anymore. I don't want to be the one who just pivots and throws spaghetti at the wall. I want to be more intentional when I make those choices.
Hmm.
And what you said too is like it's not like a one and done, like it's a journey. For me, identity work was a decade, and I mean, it'll still continue, right? But like the bulk of it was like a decade. I
Hmm.
was talking with someone, coffee like a year or two ago, and she's kind of like, I want what you're having, 'cause, blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh yeah. It was like a decade of, and she's like, wait, what? And she's like, I thought you were gonna say like 6 months. Like, and I'm like, if that, like, I wish that for everyone that it was 6 months. For me, it took a decade. But I said to her, but I get to have this the rest of my life. Like, why wouldn't I go through the decade long journey of unwinding and full, all of that? And like I said, I'm still learning stuff about myself that I'm like, oh yeah, shit, that's still a wound there.
Yeah. And
Um,
it's so hard when you're in it, right? Because you can't
yeah,
see, you
you
don't have the
can't see.
perspective. And I can look back at the last 7 years and I go, wow, that looks like a dark night of the soul. Like that was
Mm,
some heavy shit, right?
yeah, yeah,
And in the middle of it, it's like this is hard, and I know there's something better. It's
yeah,
coming. I don't know when. I hope it's soon, but it's not. But it's coming, right? And
yeah,
so I think that we can just get so caught up in like this is hard. I don't want to do this that we
yep,
miss like pulling back and allowing ourselves the time to see the bigger picture. And if I look
yeah.
back at all the transitions I've been through, I don't regret any of them. They've
Mm,
all taught me something and layered into who I am and what I'm doing now. And
mm-hmm.
it's funny because I've never really dove very deep into astrology because I find it very complex and hard for my brain to hold.
But you can do human design.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right? So like one works, the other doesn't for me.
Yep,
And that's
yep,
fine, right? But I
totally.
explore it enough to learn about myself. And I have a eighth house Leo stellium. So I have 4 planets in Leo in the eighth house. And that is like taboo, transformational, like sex, money, that kind of
Ooh,
stuff,
I love
right?
it. Yeah.
And I look and death, right? So
Okay.
death doula, like all of this
Yeah.
aligns when I look at what I've been through. It really aligns with my astrology and like my human design and how I'm designed to show up in this world and hold the depth and identity work and the hard stuff and
Yeah.
sit in it with people. And I love that. Like
Yeah.
and it seeing that in a chart or something, it doesn't tell me what to do, but it also like validates what I feel
Yeah.
and that I know what I already know.
Yeah. Well, and I think it guides you towards what's possible,
Hmm.
right? It like opens up this thing of like, oh wow. I do like I thought that was a strength, but I wasn't owning it, right?
Right.
And
The things that
it's
we're often criticized the most
yeah.
for
Oh my
are
gosh.
biggest gifts.
Absolutely.
They're just
Absolutely.
misunderstood.
I love that. I love that. Um, yeah, the identity work, of course, I lost my train of thought on that as a postmenopausal woman with ADHD. But no, but I love that, like we were saying, you and I both do identity work, but we come at it very differently. And that's why I talked to you about bringing you in to do a reading for the clients I go deeper with is because it's going to help me give more understanding of what of their design so that I can help them in their journey through
Hmm.
identity, impact, legacy, which are the things that are near and dear to me. But you also going back to like the broccoli. So Carly, I'm gonna forget her last name. I took a course with her years ago, but she had a podcast called "Give 'em the chocolate." Oh wait, they want the chocolate. Give them the broccoli, or blah, blah, blah. It's in marketing, right?
Yeah,
It's
like
like
tell them the chocolate.
sell them. Thank you. Sell them the chocolate. Give them the broccoli. Thank you very much, April. And that stuck with me for all these years, right? And inside the collective, we would talk about like we love the broccoli, and
Hmm.
like so many like the people that are in my inner circle, like we love the broccoli. So I just think everyone loves the
Hmm.
broccoli, and in this case, the broccoli is the harder work, the going really deep, rolling up your sleeves and kind of getting dirty in the mud of it all of that. And so sometimes when I'm talking with someone that maybe I've just met, or and you start going into the broccoli, and they just look at you like,
Hmm.
that's pretty intense. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't apologize out loud because I'm
Yeah.
not going to apologize for craving depth and going there. But I was like, oh, I got to pull back. They're
Mhm.
still in the chocolate.
Yeah.
Do you ever have that though when you're talking with someone that you don't know very well and like you're going into the deep and you see them kind of be like, oh,
Yeah. All it takes is like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, well.
yeah, oh, wow,
And then they're
you
like, oh,
asked.
you actually don't want to know that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, I don't know if you can contain all of this that's going on right now. It takes a special person. All right, April, as we wrap up, and of course, we're going to have all of your information in the show notes. I encourage anyone, everyone, go get your chart done on April's site. You get this really beautiful PDF of all sorts of really great information. And then I'm gonna go check out the music thing because
Yeah.
that just I'm literally gonna do that right after this. But what do you get to have the rest of your life? I'm gonna choose something from the conversation. What do
Hmm.
you get to have because you repainted your walls behind you?
Hmm. I get to have joy in seeing that every day. And I
Mm.
get to have the reminder that it's okay to just try things and do
Mm.
things. And like before, I can paint over it, right? And it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be that precious, right?
Yeah.
And I can repaint it.
Yeah.
I can tear it down and rebuild it. And it's better the second time,
Mm.
actually. So I get to have that reminder of the
Mm-hmm.
permission that I get to choose. I give it meaning.
Yeah. I love that. So good, April. Thank you so much for going live with me and
Yeah.
getting unruly and going there. And we'll continue talking about broccoli offline.
Thank you for